Good afternoon. This is a video that will explore 3 different courses of action that we can take for a property in Lynnwood Manor, Pretoria. Our property is currently worth R920,000. Our client earns a steady salary of R950,000 per annum, which will be increased every year with 7%. We considered 3 different scenarios to see which one will be the most financially feasible. The assumptions for these scenarios incur that the rental income will increase on a 6.5% per annum basis. This is based on inflation rates. The levies will increase and the rates and taxes will increase based on the linear growth relationship that we derived from Table 2 in our project brief. From these values, the linear growth relationship between the levies was 9.09% and the linear growth relationship for the rates and taxes was 8.06. These will also stay constant for scenario 2. It's also important to note that the estate agent takes 7.5% for every month that we rent out, as well as for the sale. These 4 costs were incurred before we even started renting out our property. And to cover these costs, we needed to refinance our loan, since our loan is not an access bond or loan. Therefore, adding these to our existing loan of R400,000, we found that this is what we need to take our loan out for. Our refinancing cost will be 0.005%, and therefore our loan installments per month was worked out to be this. This is taken into consideration in our loan repayment row. Thereafter, the rates and taxes are increased according to specified earlier, and our income tax payable is worked out by taking what our salary is plus our rental income. These two then give us our total taxable income. With this money, we can see which tax bracket we fall under, which is between 708 and 1.5 million. From this, at sars.gov.za, they tell you what the base amount is that you will need to pay when you fall within this tax bracket. And they tell you that everything you earn higher than R708,000, 41% of that is taxable. This is how we calculated all of these values. From this, we worked out that when we sell our property, we will need to take what our house will be worth in 5 years' time, minus what we still owe on our loan, minus the amount, the 7.5%, that we will need to pay for our rental agent. We also took a cost of 3% into consideration for transfer costs. As you can see, our total after-tax cash flow for scenario 1 was 4.1 million. Scenario 2 is when we rent out our house furnished through, for example, Airbnb. The other assumptions that we needed to take into consideration is that Airbnb takes 3% of our rental income. We also needed to furnish our house in order to rent it out through Airbnb. Therefore, we had another expense of 50,000 rand that we incurred. We had to take out a different loan option where this is all of the expenses we incurred times by our 400,000 plus our 400,000 rand of the existing loan plus the refinancing costs, and this gives us our new loan amount. Working out from this, we get our loan installments, and this times by 12 gives us our loan repayment amount for the next 5 years. This 50,000 rand of furniture and decor was depreciated on a 10% per annum straight line basis, which was incorporated in the sale of our property, the 25,000 rand. Therefore, when we sold our property, we took what it would be worth minus the transfer costs plus the 25,000 Rand for the furniture minus what we still owe on our loan minus what we will have to pay an estate agent, which is 7.5%. And therefore, after this, the total after-tax cash flow summed for these periods ended up to be 3.8 million Rand. The last scenario is where we sell and invest our property. We sell our property for what it is currently worth, which is 902,000 Rand. We also take into consideration that 3% of this is transfer costs. Thereafter, we minus what our loan is still worth, or what we still owe on our loan, and what we will pay our estate agent. We assume that we invest this in a mutual fund. After some investigation and speaking to a financial analyst, it was found that the average mutual fund returns vary around 10 to 11%. However, we decided to only use a 10%. A 10% return. From this, we work out what our sale of our property plus our investment income plus our salary, and this gives us our total taxable income thereafter, and this will give us our income tax payable. From this, we can see that if we earn a 10% income per year, our total after-tax cash flows will amount to 5 million Rand. Therefore, taking a look at all of these scenarios, it is important to note that scenario 2 returns so little tax cash flow, or after-tax cash flow, because of the occupancy rate that we needed to take into consideration of 3%, of 3 out of 7. That means 3 out of 7 days of the week, our furnished house will be able to be rented out through Airbnb. This is also quite risky since this is only an average rate, and there could be months where you cannot actually rent out your property. Therefore, going with scenario 1 or with scenario 3 will be the best bet, since this one will give you a total after-tax cash flow of 5 million Rand, and scenario 1 will give you a total after-tax cash flow of 4 million Rand. Scenario 1 also poses some risk, but not as big a risk as scenario 2. Thank you.